This is day 24. Well, not quite. This is actually day 23, but we're going to do day 24 too because I got a moment to do it. And tomorrow is going to be a nasty day for me. Fat Man is going to work strange hours today and strange hours tonight so I can have an extended weekend tomorrow and to make up for the fact that I got the truck back. That was, for those of you who did not see the video I posted at 1 o'clock in the morning the other night, the drive shaft fell out a second time at the top of a very steep slope leading to an interstate full of traffic, and I had to sit on the brake for an hour, a little more than an hour, waiting for my boss to show up to help chock the wheels. I had the truck towed, and they put the drive shaft back in the next day. Strange. Just saying, it was strange. Day 24, which RPG do you think deserves greater recognition? This is a loaded question. No offense to the people who come up with these brilliant and awesome questions, and I understand this was not an easy thing. I understand it's hard to get enough, get people together who want to add their time to begin with, and then it's also difficult to come up with a good set of questions that haven't been mulled over or raked over the coals over and over the years. This is my second year doing this, so I can only imagine what the last 7-8 years or however long this has been going. But hey, which RPG do you think deserves greater recognition? Well, I'm old school, and I'm still stuck in an old school groove to some degree. I just don't have the resources and the weatherall to devote myself to anything brand new coming out. And there's nothing wrong with some of the new stuff. Bloat Games is putting out some interesting stuff, but unless I got a free copy of the core book, I really couldn't say it'd be worth my time to invest in it right off the bat, because I don't have anybody to play the game to start with. So trying to learn a new system, an entirely new system, every now and then I get a one-off here and there, and it's just much more easier for me to go with something I know that I've done for out of rote. So trying to master something new and for a afternoon game, it just isn't going to cut it. And to buy a game system for the sake of just reading it is, well, frankly, hard to do as well, because I've got a number of systems that I can catch up on, and I find good material in them. I'm still working my way through Fate, for example. It's not because it's dry or dragging my feet on it, it's because of timing. The last couple of weeks I've been pretty busy. I get some pretty hectic schedules, and I know y'all hear that and all you go, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what, that's what I think of that, right? No. Here's an example. I got up at 6:30 this morning. I went and did a job that was supposed to do 2 days ago, 2 days ago when the truck broke down, and I got it caught up. Now I'm at Mr. Bibbs, and then I don't have another job till 2 o'clock this afternoon. Then I have one at 3:30, and they're both on opposite sides of the city, so that means they're about a 3-hour window there. And then I got to go back and take a nap because I'm going to work pretty much all night tonight. I have one that was supposed to be done the other night, and one that's supposed to be done Friday night, and I'd like to get it done so I don't have to deal with it Friday evening. And and I'd have been up anyway, and getting done at 3 in the morning and then laying down for 4 or 5 hours and then getting up and going back to work Friday morning makes no sense to me. It's just easier for me to just cram everything in and make it done, be done with it, be lethargic all Friday afternoon. But with goodwill or good luck, the wife and I will be camping this weekend. So, I'm still looking at overtime this week. Maybe not as many hours as I would have had if the truck hadn't fallen apart again. But next week's just as crazy. Quite a bit of overnight stuff with some stuff tossed in the middle of the day. It makes for very long days. And sometimes when you're in between stuff, you catch up when you can. So from a gaming perspective, we're back to that. Which do you think deserves greater recognition? There's a lot of good stuff out there, right? One of the reasons I'm doing my revisitations of really old stuff, like Twilight 2000, for example, is because I think and I believe that the game deserved to be recognized again, and perhaps draw some attention of a few people who would like to play it. John Ferreira, for example, went and bought the core book, and they're out there. The material's out there. Some of it's fairly cheap, and you can get PDF versions of it, I'm sure. The playability of it is a matter of how you want to look at it. Alternate reality or tweak it. right? Tweak it. And I believe that you could turn Twilight 2000 with a little bit of effort into a post-apocalyptic scenario for a number of different things, and mostly with a military bent. If you wanted to play your version of Red Dawn, this is a good set of rules to use as an example. If you're not familiar with Red Dawn, Google it, watch the movie. There you have it. Other mentions, well, there's a lot of new stuff, like Rob Gustafson pointed out in the video the other day. There's just so much new variety coming out, so many options that we can't keep up with everything. And we had that problem 30 years ago when every 5 years it doubled down. And it's continued to do so to some degree. So there was a time when there was only a handful of game systems. You either played this or you didn't. And there was some sidebar stuff that gave way to the newer stuff. So back in the late 80s, early 90s, the big thing was Dungeons & Dragons, as everybody knows, and Star Wars. You know, there was Star Trek, but Star Wars trumped Star Trek to some degree. You had a bigger fan base for Star Wars, and you could do more in Star Wars than in Star Trek. Even though Star Trek, the creators back in the day, FASA, attempted to give you those options. Battletech was big, and then, you know, Warhammer 40,000 trumped Battletech because there's more energy behind the company that puts it out. A lot of different reasons, and I'm sure there's quite a few specialists out there who can give you a whole lecture on this subject, but it won't be me. So that is day 24, which follows day 23. I have yet to look at 25 and 26. I will probably try to knock those out this evening while I'm doing my overnight stuff, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. We shall see.